Good day everyone, this is Karen Sermonia. You may call me Ma'am Karen and I will be your demo teacher for this morning. And I will be discussing the converting monthly salary into hourly rate. This is the topic under the main topic, which is the planning and labor cost control. So let's get started. By the end of this lesson, the students are expected to understand on how the salary calculated into an hourly rate, to know the pros and cons of salary and hourly rate, to understand why other companies having a mistakes when it comes on computing the employee salary, and the last one is to know what are the difference on how to compute the hourly rate and salary rate. So, here's the example. So, first, diba, meron na tayong monthly rate which is 20,000. And the days in a year is 261. And your working hours is 8 hours. So, that the formula is salary times 12. Bakit 12? Because 12 is the number of months in a year. And after that, pag nakuha mo na siya, divide mo siya into days, which is 261. After mo makuha yung computation ng days, i-divide mo naman siya into your working hours, so that makukuha mo na yung total hourly rate mo. So, dito na tayo. So, 20,000 times 12 is equal to 240,000. And after that, 240,000, i-divide mo siya sa 261, which is the days in a year. So, equal to 919.50. After mo makuha to, i-divide mo naman siya sa working hours po, which is 8. 919.50 divide 8 is equal to 115. And that is your total hourly rate. So, here's the pros and cons of salary and hourly rate. So, the first one is the pros of salary compensation. Salary employees enjoy the security of steady paycheck, and they tend to pull in higher overall income than hourly workers. And itong mga salary compensation na to is greater access to benefits packages, mga bonuses, and paid vacation time. And what is the pros of hourly pay? So, the pros of hourly pay is hourly employees can significantly up their weekly pay by lobbying for extra hours. After all, employers naturally wish to give additional hours to their. Furthermore, some hourly employees. And what is the pros of hourly pay? So, the pros of hourly pay is hourly employees can significantly up their weekly pay by lobbying for extra hours. After all, employers naturally wish to give additional hours to their. Furthermore, some hourly employees have the fortune of working for companies that pay employees double their regular hourly rate for working on holidays. And what is the cons of hourly pay? On the downside, some companies keep costs down by disallowing hourly employees from working overtime, because hourly employee can sometimes fall short of their traditional 40 hours work per week. So, here's the management mistake to avoid while computing salary. So, the first one is administrative staff. Many businesses, especially smaller ones, still carry out their payroll process in-houses and manually. Often, the payroll staff is overworked. A manual payroll system typically requires a great deal of paperwork, and manual process also creates an administrative burden for your HR staff. So, errors in data entry, for example, can create payment issues and misapplication of rules. And the second one is payroll documents. This is a typical issues is storing and organizing paper checks. For example, not keeping files and documents in a central location or creating uniform billing processes. And the third one is software and payroll setup. The system for setting up a payroll process leads to mistakes and errors. For example, the program used for your employee profiles or records may be different from the system you use for pay and benefits. And the fourth one is employee absences. Having to manually track your employees' vacation and sick days is a task that has great potential for mistakes. Using paper time cards and even simply digital timesheets can cause a company to be prone to misuse and unintended errors. And the fifth one is payroll deduction. So for most businesses and payroll staff processing employee payroll, deduction is probably one of the complex part of the payroll process because of the sheer numbers of both state and federal laws that apply to deduction. It's easy for smaller businesses and HR department to make errors. And the sixth one is overtime rules. Both federal and state law require most employers to pay employees overtime for hours worked above the normal hour work per week. And the seventh one is court order garnishment. In this situation, the employer is required to fulfill the court's term for an income garnishment. Failure to do so or to do properly leaves the company subject to penalties. And the 80th mistake to avoid is regulatory compliance. As noted at the beginning of this post, payroll rules and regulations changes. Almost annually, there are significant changes made to how payroll is processed either on a federal level or state level. While businesses typically strive to stay updated with regulatory changes that may occur, or too often the overwhelming amount of information lead to compliance. And the ninth mistake to avoid is employee classification because many small businesses use of different types of workers. This can include permanent part-time employees, temporary employees, freelance contractor, and vendors. And this variety in worker types and classification can often lead to payroll issues. And the last one is payroll tax deposit and payment. Businesses understand the tax deposits are to be made on the 50th day of the month when taxes were withheld from employee paychecks. However, if payroll tax deposit and payment are late, the IRS will charge you fines and penalty. Typically, this will be 0.5% of the tax amount due every month and possibly an additional 25% penalty for tax deposit that are exceptionally late. Now, here's the difference between monthly rate and hourly rate. So, monthly rate employees are paid a fixed amount per month. If the payroll frequency is semi-monthly, the employee will receive half his or her monthly rate per pay period. If the employee incurred any absences, late or undertime, his or her salary will be deducted accordingly based on the total number of absences, lates, and of course the undertime. So, here's the computation of monthly rate salary. If your monthly rate salary is 15,000, so that your semi-monthly rate is 7,500. And that 7,500 is per pay period. And your hourly rate is based on 365 days per year factor. So like for example, 15,000. Ito times mo siya sa 12 because 12 is the month in a year. So that yung magiging magiging equal mo doon is 180,000. And after mo makuha si 180,000, i-divide mo siya into 365. Because 365 is the days per year. So, i-divide mo siya doon. So, ang lalabas doon is 493.15. After mo makuha si 493.15 is i-divide mo siya sa 8 because 8 is your working hours. So, ang lalabas dyan is 61.64 pesos per hour. And if you have a 16 hours of absences, 2 hours of undertime, and 3 hours of late, so that your total deduction is 21. So, yung 21 na yon, ita-times mo siya sa 61.64 pesos. So, ang lalabas dyan is 1,294.44. So, yung salary mo na 7,500 per pay period is maminusan mo ng 1,294.44. So, ang kakalabasan niya is 6,205.56, and that is your monthly rate. So now, here's your hourly rate computation. So like for example, your daily rate is 500 pesos, and your number of total work days is 10. Of course, your total pay is 5,000 kasi paano makukuha yung 5,000 na yun? So, ita-times mo lang yung 500 na daily rate mo into your working days na meron ka, which is yung 10. So, 500 times 10. So, equal to 5,000, and that is your daily rate. So, in short, some companies do apply the hourly rate, but this follows the same principle applied to the daily rate. In essence, hourly rate and monthly rate employees are the same. Both types of employees are paid for the amount of time they put in at work. And the main difference is that daily rate employees are paid based on the actual number of days that they work, and while monthly rate employees are paid a fixed amount per pay period. And that's it. Thank you for listening, and God bless you. And that's all. Thank you for listening, and may God bless us all.